So today we are going to learn about some science. So first we're going to do a quick overview of what we're going to go over today. We're going to learn how to convert units of measurement. We're going to learn about quantitative and qualitative data. We're going to learn independent versus dependent variables and how to identify those. And we're going to learn how to write a hypothesis. So first we have the metric system. We're going to learn how to convert metric units. There's a few different units that we need to learn. So that's kilo, hecto, deca, the basic unit, which can be meter, liter, gram, deci, centi, milli. And milli would equal 1,000 base units, centi 100, deci 10 base units. You have the 1 base unit. Deca would be 1/10 of the base unit. Hecto would be 1/100th of the base unit, and kilo would be 1/1000th of the base unit. So I have a little chant that we're going to memorize to remember these units of measurement. So first we have king, then we have Henry for hecto, doesn't for deca, bake for the base unit, delicious for deci, chocolate for centi, and muffins for milli. So it's king, Henry, doesn't bake, delicious, chocolate, muffins. So now I'd like you all to repeat that with me, okay?
King Henry doesn't bake delicious chocolate muffins.
Perfect. Now we're going to review it again, okay? King Henry doesn't bake delicious chocolate muffins. Repeat again.
King Henry doesn't bake delicious chocolate muffins.
Perfect. All right, so now we're going to learn how to convert units. So if we're going down the step ladder and we're moving to the right, we're going to move the decimal point to the right. And for the opposite, if we're going up the staircase, we're going to move the decimal point to the left. So for example, if I give you 5 meters as your base unit, and I ask you how many centimeters is 5 meters, we're going to first start by moving the decimal from the 5 to the right to get 50 decimeters, and then again to get 500 centimeters. All right, so now I'm going to have you guys practice. So if I give you 10 meters, how many kilometers is 10 meters? Can someone help me go through this process? Yes.
I believe it is 0.01 meters, or kilometers.
Okay, so first we're going to move the decimal over 1 to get 1 decameter. Then we're going to move it again to get 1 hectometer. And then we're going to move it again to get 0.01 kilometers. So great job. All right, next we have quantitative versus qualitative measurements. Quantitative data is measurements made with instruments such as rulers, graduated cylinders, beakers, etc. So that's going to be a numerical value. Then we have qualitative data, which is observations where you use your senses to observe the results. So, for example, we have, it is green in color. That would be qualitative data because we're using our senses to observe that. Here's another example. The leaf is 8 centimeters long. That would be quantitative data because we have a number here in our observation. So now we're going to practice. It tastes sour. What would that be?
Qualitative.
Correct. It makes a popping sound. What would that be?
Qualitative.
Perfect. The mass is 1.5 kilograms. What would that be?
Quantitative.
Awesome. And the veins are 3 millimeters wide. What is that?
Quantitative.
Awesome. Good job, you guys. Now I'd like you to give me an example of your own.
The sweater is brown.
And what would that be?
Qualitative.
Awesome. All right, next we have independent versus dependent variables. Independent variable is what is changed by the scientist, so something that is tested or manipulated. And dependent variables are something that could be affected by the change in the independent variable. So that is what is observed or measured by the scientist. So an example, students were trying to discover if a plant would grow taller in light or dark. They placed one lima bean plant in a light room and another in a dark room for a week. They then measured the height of the plants at the end of the week. What would be the independent variable? That would be the dark or the light room, whether the plant was in the dark or the light. And the dependent variable would be the height of the plant at the end of the week. So now you guys are going to practice. Students of different ages were asked to put together a jigsaw puzzle and were timed to see how long it took them to complete it. What would the independent variable be?
The age of the student.
Correct. And what would the dependent variable be?
How long it takes them to complete the puzzle.
Correct. Good job. Alright, next we are going to learn how to write a hypothesis. What is a hypothesis, you may ask? An educated guess about what is going to happen in an experiment. So that is based on an observation from the scientist. So that is going to be planned out as, if I do this, then this will happen because ... So, I'm going to give you an example. Say I want to study smoothies. If I have observed that whenever I add honey to yogurt, it will make it sweeter and people will like it better. My hypothesis would then be, if I add honey to my smoothie, then it will taste better because honey makes things sweeter. Okay? So now you guys are going to practice. I want you to create a hypothesis from this scenario. Mary waters her plants in her yard every other day. She notices that the plant closest to her neighbor's yard is the tallest in that her neighbor turns on her sprinklers every day, which reach this plant in Mary's yard. So what would our hypothesis be for this scenario? Yes?
If the plant is watered every day, then the plant will be taller.
Perfect. And why would you add your because?
Because the plant near Mary's yard that is watered every day is the tallest.
Awesome. Good job. Alright, so now we have a little quiz to summarize everything that we just learned. If I want to study whether eating a lot of chocolate will make someone sick, what is a hypothesis I could use to test this? Yes?
If you eat a lot of chocolate, then you will be sick because chocolate has a lot of sugar.
Perfect. Number 2, if I increase the number of chocolate bars that people eat and then ask each person to rate how they feel after on a scale of 1 to 5, what would be the independent and what would be the dependent variable? Yes?
Independent is number of chocolate bars that people eat, and dependent is the rating on the scale.
Perfect. Amazing. Number 3, is the data that I am going to collect quantitative or qualitative data?
For the previous number 2,
Yes.
that would be quantitative.
Correct. And how many centimeters is 4 milliliters of chocolate?
That's not possible
Why?
because you're going from liters to meters.
You can do that.
Correct. We have a different base unit. So that is a trick question. Good job. All right. Congratulations. Good job, everyone.
Good job. Wait.
Did you cut it off?